And he's one of those risky assets whom I am, willing to take a risk on in order to capitalize on the couple of game weeks that we have left. I'm quite optimistic and assured that De Bruyne will also have an amazing game against Bournemouth. You can go for a high risk, high reward kind of an opportunity if you are chasing rank. But if you want to play it safe, then that's a different proposition altogether. Hey guys, welcome back to another video from the Football Herd. Hope you're doing wonderfully well. So we only have a couple of game weeks left, so it's a time that it's a make or break kind of a time where you'll take a lot of risks. So I'm currently sitting at 72k and my aim is to hit the 10k mark. So I have a couple of transfers up my sleeve, so I'll be making both of them, and I'll be discussing about the best differentials to own in gameweek37 and also my team selection along with the captaincy metrics. So make sure you watch the video till the end. It will be a very short and crisp video and hope it will add value to your teams and help you make informed decisions. Without dealing any further, let's get started. The first player that I'd like to talk about is none other than Dwight McNeil. Now, Everton have a Southampton home game in game week 37, and we've seen that Southampton have looked quite solid at the back in the last few games, and they have also kept out Manchester City in game week 36. But having said that, it will be a different kind of an encounter and not the kind of fixture that we have seen Southampton play against Manchester City, because Manchester City are a very a dominant side who like to dominate position. So it only helped Southampton, in the low block formation. And I believe against Everton, it will be a different kind of a show where Everton will not be that much adventurous like Manchester City. But Everton will also be hitting them on the break, and they have quite prolific wingers like McNeil. Then we have Beto, and then NDI might also get involved. But one concerning fact is that McNeil is not getting all the starting slots, and we saw him come in the second half in the 62nd minute replacing Harrison. Now, I believe that McNeil will be starting this game, and even if he's not starting, we saw him, contributing with an assist also. Last time round, he came as on as a sub. So I believe Dwight McNeil is a very good shout with a couple of assists and one goal from 2 shots in the last 10 game weeks. He also has an expected goals involvement of 43%. As you can see, the numbers are quite prolific, and he is one of those risky assets with whom I am, willing to take a risk on. In order to capitalize on the couple of game weeks that we have left. Now, the second asset that I would like to talk about is none other than Luca Dean from Aston Villa. Now, Aston Villa have also got a very favourable fixture against Tottenham Hotspur, who are prioritizing European football, the Europa League final, I mean. Now, Luca Dean has also got a very decent amount of numbers. As you can see, the expected goals involvement is 0.3 in the last 10 game weeks. It's not that much great, I would say. But he has also contributed 21 points, and I believe he will be adventurous down the left, and he has that attacking menace. And I'm completely counting on Aston Villa this game week, because not only this game week but also in 38, because they are facing United and Spurs in these two outings, in these two fixtures, and both of them have looked quite shambolic of late. So even if he's not able to give me any attacking return, a clean sheet is right up there for Luca Dean. Now, coming to my third differential pick, that is none other than Jamie Vardy. Now, Vardy is in his penultimate game in the season and also his Premier League career. He has already contributed to 1 assist and 1 goal from 12 shots and created 2 big chances. And he has amassed a high of 26 points in the last 10 game weeks, which is not that much impressive. But he is in good form, I would say. And the Ipswich home game is something, a very juicy fixture for someone like Jamie Vardy. And I'm pretty sure that he will be right up there, and he will be trying to finish those chances that Leicester will be, creating. So Vardy is right up there and one of my favorite differential picks, and probably I'll bring him in this game week. Coming to the team selection, in goal I've got Pickford, who plays Southampton at home. Now, this should be a clean sheet fixture for Pickford, in my opinion, because as I said that Everton have looked quite solid at the back, and it hasn't worked in the last few game weeks. But if we take a sample size of the last 10 game weeks, then Everton have showed resilience at the back, and Pickford has been prolific. Now, in my defensive back three, I've got Guardiola to start with, who has a Bournemouth home game. And we have seen that Guardiola is a confirmed starter for Manchester City, even if it's for the left back or left centre back. And if he's playing as a left back, then he has a greater attacking prowess down the left, and because he's getting involved in all the attacking shapes and formations, and he's taking those advanced positions and getting into goal scoring opportunities. Now up next I have Mykolenko, who has a Southampton home game. Now Mykolenko with a 8-pointer last time round is nailed in my lineup, and he was one of them whom I had benched in the last game week, and he was in my bench. So I missed out on the 8 points, but not anymore. I'm quite optimistic about Mykolenko's numbers in game week 37. Now coming to the third defender, that's Nico Williams, who has a West Ham away fixture. Now the Hammers have looked quite decent, I would say. But having said that, Nottingham Forest will be playing for the European football, and they have had a difficult patch after a dream run, which I would like to call out, that they were quite right up there, finishing in the top 4 slots for the UEFA Champions League. But right now, I think a Europa or a Conference League finish would be enough, in my opinion, for them. But they will fight for that. So I'm quite optimistic about Nottingham Forest in Game Week 37. Now I have a midfield 5, and starting with Mohamed Salah, who has a Brighton away game. Now Liverpool have been in gala mood and partying after finishing on top of the Premier League and lifting the league. But having said that, I believe Mohamed Salah will try to finish on a high, and he will be on the scoring sheet in Game Week 37 or 38. And I'm keeping high hopes on him. If he's not able to perform in this game week, then I'll definitely opt for someone like Bukayo Saka in Game Week 38, where Arsenal have Southampton. Now coming to the next player, I have Kevin De Bruyne, another player who has his penultimate game in the Premier League, just like Jamie Vardy, and I'm quite optimistic and assured that De Bruyne will also have an amazing game against Bournemouth. Now the third asset that I have is Jared Bowen. Bowen has a Nottingham Forest home fixture. Now Bowen is someone who is the main talisman for West Ham, so he's very important for them, and that only enhances his appeal, and he's completely nailed my team because he's also on penalties. So he's also a captaincy candidate. I'll discuss in the later segment my captaincy picks and whom I'm opting for. The next player is none other than Brian Mbeumo. Mbeumo has a Fulham home game, and the Brentford talisman is also in fine touch. Now he has missed out on the last few games. I believe he could have hauled. Instead, he got a single assist in both the fixtures, and he was someone whom I have captained in all those fixtures as well. And he's also a very good captaincy candidate against Fulham as well, because we have seen that Everton have scored 3 goals against a decent Fulham side. So that only enhances Brentford's appeal, in my opinion. If Everton can score 3 goals past Fulham, then definitely Brentford can also, add to that. In my 5th midfielder, I have Morgan Rogers. Now he faces a depleted Spurs side, so again very much optimistic about Morgan Rogers as well, because now Aston Villa will go all guns blazing against. I'm pretty sure that Romero and Van de Ven will not be starting as the 2 centre backs. And that only enhances the Aston Villa attacking appeal, and I'm quite sure that Rodgers will be right up there, and he's also one of those persons who is in the captaincy discussions. Now up top I have a front 2 of Wissa and Watkins. Now I have made a couple of changes to this lineup. I have brought in Vardy and Watkins for Isak and Mamouche. So those are the 2 changes that I have made. And I'll be playing the bench boost chip, so it's very important to focus on the bench as well. So my bench looks like Sells, Vardy, O'Brien and Milinkovic. Now I'm quite optimistic about Vardy, Sells and Milinkovic, but I'm not sure as to whether O'Brien will start or not. If O'Brien is not starting, then my bench will have only 3 players, but I'm happy to take that risk and not take a -4 hit and transfer O'Brien out. So this is how my entire team looks for Game Week 37. Now in the captaincy metrics, I've gone for Mbeumo, Watkins and Palmer. Now it's a very interesting selection, because we are not having any hard hitters like Mohamed Salah and Erling Haaland, which we used to have in the preliminary stage of this season. Now it's very important to understand that in the last 2 game weeks that we have, Game Week 37 and 38, it's very important to nail the captaincy, because you can go for a high risk, high reward kind of an opportunity if you are chasing rank. But if you want to play it safe, then that's a different proposition altogether. You have to take into consideration the effective ownership that we have and play a captain accordingly. Now, if you want the safest bet this time round, then it's clearly Mbeumo, because of his high ownership, and his effective ownership will be quite high, at least around 120-ish, I guess, in this game week. But having said that, the greatest reward is there in playing the captaincy on Cole Palmer, because he will have the least effective ownership, in my opinion, followed by Ollie Watkins. Now, Ollie Watkins will also have a very less effective ownership, because a lot of players are bringing him in. And now this is from the lens of effective ownership. Now, if you want to think from a different lens as to the kind of fixtures that they have, Mbeumo has a Fulham home game, and Watkins has a Tottenham home game, and whereas Chelsea face United. So in my opinion, United will also rotate, but Spurs will rotate much more. So in my opinion, Aston Villa have the weakest game and the best fixture, in my opinion, amongst all three. So if you take everything into consideration, the numbers also are there in the screen for you to see. In my opinion, Watkins is the best captaincy choice, the median captaincy choice, I would say, who will have a mediocre effective ownership and a very high upside. Whereas Mbeumo is the safest bet, because his effective ownership will be quite high. And Cole Palmer will be the most risky pick, in my opinion, even though he can, completely wreak havoc through the United defensive lineup, because they have also suffered a lot of injuries, and they will also be very cautious before the Europa League final. So in my opinion, Watkins number 1, Mbeumo number 2, and Cole Palmer number 3. That is my ranking. Please do let me know what is your ranking, and who is your captain in Game Week 37. That's it, guys. That was all about the gameweek 37 team selection video. If you have liked this video, please do drop a like and subscribe to my channel. That means a lot to me. If you have any questions, please do drop them below. And make sure you follow me on X, where I post my final team before the deadline. All the best for gameweek 37. I'll catch you guys in the next one.